It's This Epic Disaster. Hi, how are you? I'm going to start
That was horrible.
I'm going to start the show like that every time now.
No, that was really bad.
It's This Epic Disaster. And then there would be like some kind of, I've been watching the Match Game like 74 or Match Game 75.
Wow.
First of all, it's so much fun. And it's weird. I used to watch that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You weren't born.
No, I used to watch it. Not the 74, because I became a thing in 74.
Well, like reruns and stuff. But,
Right.
But I used to watch it all the time. We'd come home from school. It was on, and it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And all the people that were regulars on it, Richard Dawson,
Right.
Brett Summers, Charles Nelson Riley.
Yeah.
And then general people would come in and fill it. It's just kind of weird.
Aren't they all dead now?
A lot of them are dead.
Yeah.
Brett Summers is still alive.
Okay.
But everybody else is dead. She's by herself.
So you're watching these shows and you're laughing at jokes that these people
These
made
dead people.
well after they died.
Yeah, which is what reruns are for.
Right.
But the thing that I was kind of impressed with, because I remembered certain people being better at the game than other people, but they were all pretty bad. The contestants are horrible because they'll do a question and it's like an obvious question, and then they'll do whatever blank. And then the contestant will do the worst, stupidest, unenlightened answer.
Because they're just
and then you're
starstruck.
frustrated, and you're like, "That's so stupid. You should have chosen this." And then none of the famous people chose that either.
Yeah.
So everybody's bad at it except you. And the only way to actually fix it is to drown your sorrow in some beer. And I think we should do that right now.
All right, let's do that today. Even though I haven't watched Match Game, I have other sorrows I can drown. So.
Live beer review, by the way. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, it's a live beer review. And today we're doing a beer that you picked out called Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Because it's Christmas season.
And it's by Anchor Brewing, and this is brewed in San Francisco, California, my old stomping grounds. And this is basically their holiday offering, and they only sell it between November and January, and it changes every year. So this year, so what it says is its recipe and hand-drawn tree change every year. And they're talking about the hand-drawn tree on the label.
Really?
Yes, it changes every year.
So now I have a serial number on the back of mine. Let's see if they're the same number, all right? I'm going to read mine off. PKG 102119.
That's correct, because it's PKG stands for package. So these were packaged.
Do you have the exact same number?
Yeah, and so that means October 21st, 2019.
Oh, okay.
That's when it was
I
packaged.
figured they were trying to really narrow it down to the exact bottle.
No. I think they're just proving to you that it's pretty new. It's a new beer.
So this was brewed October of this year.
No, it was packaged in October of this year.
October 21st. So it's pretty new. That's a new beer.
Packaged.
It's not really ripe yet, I think. We'll find out.
It had to sit in its barrel for a while. Where is the opener?
Right here.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Cracking that open. Don't spill it this week, if you would. I'm going to pour mine
One
in.
time. I spilled one time.
Oh, it's a little darker than I expected. It's nice brownie color.
It is. And it smells good. Can you smell that? That smells really good.
I smelt it and dealt it. All right. I'm going to taste mine. It's got a little reddish cast to it. That way.
So, again, this is the Anchor Brewing's holiday offering called Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And it has 6.9% alcohol by volume. And it's out of San Francisco, California.
Okay.
And you just tasted it and you said, okay.
Just initial comment. It doesn't taste Christmassy. It tastes like a beer. Not a bad beer, but just it doesn't have a flavor to it, like a special holiday flavor, in my opinion.
It doesn't, but it doesn't claim to either.
Okay, then I read it wrong. It's supposed to taste like Christmas trees.
It's not supposed to taste like Christmas trees.
How the heck are you? What's going on in your life this week before Christmas? This is not the week before Christmas, but this week way before Christmas. This week in December.
I'm doing okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm all right. So...
Anything fun this week happen?
Fun? Yeah. As a matter of fact, I went to a friend's house yesterday and helped him put his tree up.
That's always fun.
And he got the cutest, tiniest little tree. It's like this little round, stout little tree. It's
round?
It's like round in the middle. It's almost egg-shaped.
Like a bush. It's not a tree, it's a bush.
It's a Christmas hedge.
Christmas bush.
It's a Christmas hedge.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's only about 4 feet tall.
It's like having a birthday pie.
It's super cute.
Not really. not really traditional, but
And
you're allowed.
It
for
was
sure.
fun because, in my house, I don't do ornaments. And if I do, I just kind of like buy a package of ornaments and put them all up on the same.
Just throw them on the tree.
Yeah. But I don't have any like special ornaments.
I just thought of an idea.
Okay.
They should make, they make those like Christmas lights that are on a net.
Yeah.
They should make ornaments on a net where you just like
Just throw it
on a tree and you have ornaments.
And there you have ornaments.
Like, you don't have to put them all on. Then when you're done, just take it down.
Well, I mean, that would be good for outside.
And could do that outside too.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways, all of his ornaments were special to him, and he chose them and he picked them out, and it was fun. It was fun to help him put the tree up.
We put our tree up. We started going through the ornaments, and it's so fun seeing ornaments. Like, oh yeah, I remember I bought that last year, and things where I don't know where it came from, and ornaments that's just like, oh, that was my first marriage. Oh, that was my second marriage.
Right?
Oh, that was my
You
third
do
marriage.
that a lot.
All of that, it's kind of marked in there. We could sort of remember, and some of it you just flush down the toilet. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to remember that one.
That's a bad marriage.
Yeah,
Let's get rid of that
but
ornament.
then there are some that I don't totally remember where they came from. But I used to put football ornaments on my tree.
He had a couple.
I put like way back when the University of Tennessee won the national title.
Uh-huh.
Was that early 2000s or something? I don't even remember.
Yeah, why would I know that?
I have an ornament for that, honoring that, and I used to put it on my tree. And I used to have a Washington Redskins ornament.
I remember that ornament because we hung it on a tree when we were together.
And I stopped following football, and so I don't put those on my tree anymore.
Yeah, that's okay. Do you miss them?
Nope.
Okay.
In fact, they're still there. I just don't put them on the tree. And
You still store them for years.
I have two ornaments from the Clinton Library,
Yes, I remember those.
which I tend to not use anymore. They
They were really cool looking.
Yes, I don't. There were gifts, but in light of some, I don't know. I just feel like maybe honoring
shouldn't have those.
Bill is not what I want to do at Christmas time. And I like Bill. Okay, he was my favorite president for a while.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like maybe he might need to go away now.
Maybe keep those in the box along with the Redskins and the.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just like
UT.
I don't really use the word redskin anymore.
Right.
I think it's probably a little not cool. So it's there's some things it's okay to put away.
We just grow out of things.
That's right.
That's all. And you've grown out of Bill Clinton.
I have grown out of Bill Clinton.
Right out of his head.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we did that last night. That was kind of fun.
Okay. So did you hang up the ornament I gave you, the one that you really liked that was supposed to be a joke? The mustache?
It went up last night. I think it went up last night. I pulled it out, but you know what I couldn't find?
What?
The pickle. We couldn't
can't find the pickle?
Well, we had what apparently was a box of ornaments that we couldn't find.
Okay.
So today we discovered where that might be. So I took it downstairs. We're going to go through and see, and I think maybe the pickle's in there.
Maybe the pickle's in it. You got to have a pickle on your tree.
And we've talked about this before. I didn't understand the pickle tradition. You brought that into my life, and then now I know it's a big tradition that exists in places that I didn't realize. So
Yeah.
you got to put a pickle on your tree, I guess.
You have to have a pickle on the tree,
Mm-hmm.
and whoever finds the pickle first gets a thing. Look it up. Google it. It's fun.
They get a tickle.
Find my pickle. I'll give you a tickle.
That's right. That's like under the mistletoe, but
That's
it's under the
ridiculous.
pickle toe.
See, under the camel toe.
Oh my God. That's not a tradition anywhere.
It is in my house.
Also this week, I did something fun I've never done before. I
What?
kind of knew I was going to like it, but I liked it even more than I thought I might like it. I went to my first Cirque du Soleil.
I see that.
Is it Soleil? Soleil.
Soleil.
Okay. I went to my first one. That was fun.
I am jealous because you know what?
What?
I've been wanting to go to that for months.
You should do it if you can. I don't know how much longer it's going to be here. Do you know?
I do. It's up to the first week in January.
Okay.
But every ticket I looked at is beyond me right now.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe someone will get you one for Christmas. Who knows? But
If
you
you
should
do,
go.
could you get two?
Well, I don't want to go into a long story, but I liked it so much. I told my mom I was going to get her one for Christmas, and
Aw.
so she was. So I think we're going to have to drive 4 hours to see my mom, and then take her, and then drive 4 hours back. So, But that will
Wait
be
a second. You're going to go get her.
Yes.
You're going to bring her back here.
No, we're up there. That it'll be in April.
Oh, I see. I was going to be like, that's a little too much time with your mom.
No. So that was the arrangement because she's just like she won't go unless someone does something like that. So, but I was gonna. So we get to see it again, but it's a different show, and I didn't realize. But they travel different shows. They have an overall theme to their shows, a storyline or whatever, and each one is different. The one here
is Volta.
Yeah, and do you know what it is? Do you know anything about that story?
No.
Well, of course, there's a lot of acrobatics, but one of the things you might like at the very, very end of the show
is it spoilers?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Is all like extreme bike riding.
Yeah, I saw that. That's really what interested me
like
because
flipping around and going. Man, it's amazing.
Every story that I've seen that has, like you said, it revolves around a different story or every one of their shows. Like the one that was here last or the one before that, I don't know. The one that was here last was about animals. The one that was here, because they do it in Atlanta, everybody, for those of you listening and not sitting in the room, they do it at Atlantic Station.
Yeah.
They put up their big circus tent outside at Atlantic Station, and they do it there. And they come every year with a different show.
Okay.
And last year they did the animal one. I don't remember what it was called, but the year before that they did the water one.
Well, I'm interested because they don't use animals. What do they do?
No, it's not actual animals. The people are
okay.
dressed as animals, and it's a story about animals.
I read that they've only used 2 animals in any show they've ever done before, and one was a snake, and one were doves. So they've used the snake and doves in some show that they've done at some point.
That's so interesting because, look, a snake is supposed to represent evil, right? And doves are supposed to represent...
Maybe they're trying to slide in a message for us.
Maybe. That's weird. But so I was looking at the bikes and I'm like, that's new because they do all kinds of different things. Like I was saying with the water and everything, and now they got bikes and bringing in props, and that's cool.
It was, for me, of course, I'm a performer, and I don't know, we need to talk about this at some point, but I found myself just sort of becoming that old fogey that's just like, I don't want to do that. I'm too old to do that. Because I knew my mother would like this, and I was like, I want to get this for you for Christmas. And she was like, that's not my thing. I don't want to do that. And it was like, it used to be your thing. You would have loved it.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm becoming that. I just don't want to leave my house and go through lots of people and stuff to go see something anymore. It's
You're becoming what I used to be.
Well, kind of like and I've mentioned this before too. 2 or 3 years ago, I saw one of my favorite bands I've been wanting to see for a long time, Flogging Molly.
Right.
And the whole time I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go home.
Go. Yeah.
And it's like I didn't want to fight the kids, the heat, everything. I'd rather watch a video.
You even said you were ready to leave early when you went to see Billy Joel.
Not so much, but. It was fine. I enjoyed, and the same with both. I enjoyed both of them, but
you're just old. You're just getting old.
I think that's what I'm afraid of that. But so I was watching this, and I was just like, "This is my thing." I mean, I loved circus, but I'm not a performer. I'm not an acrobat. And there's a lot of acrobats, but the lights, the sets, the storyline, it's very theatrical, and I really enjoyed that. But watching what these kids do with their bodies, I mean, I don't know, because sometimes do 2 shows, and what they do with their bodies and how can they do that every day and sometimes 2 shows a day and not be just in pain, and I can't figure that out.
Because they're very well trained and they're very well taken care of, I imagine.
Yeah.
And they take very good care of themselves, I would hope. But the thing that I always think when I see it, of course, it's beautiful and it's amazing and you do the ooh and the ah and all that. But I don't know why, but my brain goes to, oh my God, if he blows his ACL, his career is over. Like that's where my brain goes.
Well, I think that too, and so one of my comments was, I hope they pay these kids well. I mean, no, you can't just find anybody that can do this stuff. These are high professional, and even in the realm of circus performers, they are the top because they're performing in the top circus in the world.
Yes.
I read that this circus last year grossed $810 million.
It doesn't surprise me at all. I would have thought it was more.
Almost $1 billion. And what I just think, so I'm watching these people up on these ropes and ladders and doing things with their body and I'm just thinking, like rings. A lot of them are gymnasts, I guess, former gymnasts, and doing the things on the rings, gymnast rings and all. And I just think, to them, is that like me picking up a glass of beer? Do they don't feel it I couldn't do it. If I tried to do that one time, I would pull something. I would feel that for 6 months.
Yeah.
But they can,
Or you would break something.
right.
Like
But
you would literally like herniate a disc or something. I
Well,
mean, I know I would.
I can imagine working out and exercising to the point where, not me personally, but I could do something like that. But I can't imagine being able to do something like that all the time, every night, then do more things like that, and then do 2 shows, and then the next week do another show. It can't affect them at all. How do they do these amazing things? It makes you wonder,
because if they're on the road and they're doing these shows, what do they do outside of the shows? Like, what does that performer do when the show is over?
Yeah.
Or during the day when they're not having a show? Or, I mean, they pretty much have shows every day. But, how do they wake up? Do they stretch? Do they do yoga? Do they go running?
I think they have to constantly stretch and exercise. They have to rehearse and practice and all of that. They can't get rusty on it.
So they're not just doing it during the shows either. They're also rehearsing it.
But they're not going to Taco Bell.
No.
I'm pretty sure. But I don't know. I mean, they seem like they're having fun and they're seeing the world and doing what they love doing. But it just, man, I really appreciated, and my wife and I were talking about it today about, she was saying something about how she almost cried for something. I don't remember, but I was like, I had that instinct of, like, just what they were doing with their bodies brought me to tears. It's just like, it was so beautiful. It was like a sculpture or something, a moving sculpture, and it's totally amazing. And but anyway, if you get a chance to go see them, it's not a commercial. Just go see them. It's great.
I really, really, really want to. I've wanted to for months. Trust me.
You'll love it. And the atmosphere was fun and all of that kind of stuff. And everybody was so nice. But like, we took my mother-in-law, who has a little bit of trouble walking, and someone came by in a golf cart thing and picked her up and took her, and everybody just watched over, and they were so cool.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, Atlanta's sort of like that anyway. There's a lot of friendly people here in Atlanta.
Matter of fact, you're right. Last time I was here, a couple of times. Okay, slow down, Cheri. Not the last time, but the time before that I went to the aquarium here. Parking at the aquarium is awkward because then you have to go out on the street, and if you park in the parking area, then you have to go out on the street and then walk around to the aquarium to the front of it. They have somebody that has a golf cart that will come and get people who need assistance, or just if you want to ride, and they don't have to do that.
Yeah,
they really don't.
Well, it helped. It was very helpful. Yeah, but we had a good time. It was fun.
I'm glad.
So expensive.
Yeah.
That's the downfall.
Yeah.
It's expensive. Everything. Okay, so we bought 3 of us there. We each had a popcorn. We each had a beverage. That was it. Just price that. What do you think? 3 popcorns, 3 beverages.
I'm gonna say it was at least $50.
It was $55.
Yep.
For popcorn and a beverage for 3 people.
Well, nowadays, if you go to one of those theaters, those movie theaters, it's just a movie, right? You're going to the movies. And some of these theaters, a lot of them here in Atlanta, have tables and chairs where you sit and you can order food and that kind of thing. The popcorn, when you sit down at one of these movie theaters, the popcorn is $9.50.
It's so dumb.
For
you can
popcorn.
buy an entire box of Orville Redenbacher's popcorn. Is not even that. That's dumb. It's ridiculous. But we still do it. We still buy it. I bought it.
Of course.
So my wife wanted a glass of rosé wine. She got the wine. The glass was that size, 9 ounces.
Okay, that's a 9-ounce pour is a pretty good pour.
And that would be what? What do you think? Price that rosé wine that size?
A 9-ounce glass?
Yes.
You're probably at an event like that.
Yes. You're
probably looking at about $18.
$17.
Yep.
Was the price of that. I couldn't believe it.
That's insane.
And tickets were obviously a little steep, and I bought my I will say I bought a sweatshirt, and this is one of the most comfortable sweatshirts I've ever. It
looks comfy.
It's so big and warm, and it's almost too warm, but I got it because of the logo there.
It says Cirque du Soleil, established 1984.
$55 for that.
What? Jesus, you spent $1,000 for that event.
Well, not all the money was mine.
Okay.
We shared.
Okay.
But anyway, but still, even if you just do it occasionally, go do it. It's fun. I can't imagine taking kids. I mean, you can. They would break you. It would break you. But
having kids would break me.
Yeah.
Just no. Mentally. I mean, not to mention financially.
Yeah, but go do it if you can.
I have some more news.
Do you want to wait till we play Would You Rather?
Yes.
Let's play a little game of Would You Rather, and then you can tell us your news.
It's not like
Your big, huge news
no, it's
that
not
everybody's waiting
It's not
to hear.
big, huge news, but it's fun for me.
Okay.
So I'm excited about it.
All right, so let's play Would You Rather. You're going to drop them first?
Yeah.
Drop a stone. The way
So-
Would You Rather works is a game of Would You Rather. And
Really?
you drop a color stone. Have 5 stones to choose from. You drop one. And that will determine what question that I ask.
It's red.
All right, you got the red stone?
Yep.
Red stone is pain, fear, discomfort. Would you rather share a single bathroom in your home with 10 other people? Are you doing the bathroom right now?
No.
Oh. Or sleep every night in a double bed with 2 adult siblings?
Ew.
Well, you're answering it, not me. Go.
I'm gonna say that I would probably rather. Oh God. Here, okay. If everybody cleaned up after themselves in the bathroom properly,
Right.
I would go that route.
Okay.
Rather than sharing a bed with two of my siblings.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. If you're sharing the bed, you're sharing the bed for 8 hours at least, right?
And you're sharing each other's sweat and body
you're
stuff.
you're moving. That wouldn't be a comfortable sleep.
Things.
At least the bathroom, they're not in there with you.
Right.
I mean, you could at least have a little privacy.
As long as everybody cleans up after themselves properly.
And you don't have to flush if you don't want to, and then they have to worry about it, not you.
That's nasty.
I'm just saying.
I'm just like, if one of those people is a man and he pees on the seat or on the
As we all do.
floor or wherever, you clean that shit up. You clean that up. I'm not touching it. That's not mine. I didn't do that.
Okay,
Not
but
my mess.
so you're going with the
Going with the bathroom.
All right.
What would you do?
I
Same?
think I would do that. Yeah.
Okay. It's your turn.
I mean, I've shared a bathroom with 10 people, so
I know you have.
I know what that's like.
As a child with other young brothers.
I growed up that way. All right, I'm feeling yellow coming out of my hand.
Okay. That's what he said in the bathroom?
Okay.
It was purple,
That
though.
was purple.
Yeah, which would be weird in the bathroom. Okay, so purple is food and ingestion.
Oh, I have that.
Would you rather
Mm-hmm.
bite into a piece of chocolate and find it filled with maggots,
Oh.
or bite into a piece of chocolate and find it filled with pus?
Oh, maggots. They're kind of the same thing, but both those are horribly nasty.
That's a horrible question.
That's really, it kind of makes me want to vomit right now.
I'm with you.
Like,
Yeah, I'm
That's
going with
nasty.
maggots too.
I mean, I guess I would do the maggots, but
Because you could spit them out.
here's the thing.
You can't spit
Let me just say this.
pus out.
I'm just going to say this. What the hell is pus doing in a pie? I can understand how maggots would get in a pie.
Right.
You left it out too long, whatever. There are maggots in the pie. Maggots get in. Who's making a pus pie?
It's not a pie, it's a piece of chocolate.
Piece of chocolate with pus in it. Who put that in there?
New
That's
from
not-
new from Godiva, pus filled.
That shouldn't be.
chocolate.
I got you a Christmas present. No, thanks.
No, I'm good.
I just want to know who. That's a felony right there. I mean, a maggot, that's accidental. You can't control it. Pus, someone went to lengths to make that pie.
Someone injected pus into chocolate.
My grandmother, and it's your grandfather's pus.
That's nasty.
No. I would say I'm going to have to go with the mags, but I don't even want that. Anyway.
Okay. All right.
All right, your big news.
It's not huge news. It's just
It's
something
huge,
fun.
gigantic news. It's the big announcement on the show everybody's been waiting for. What is the news now?
Cheri has finally learned how to play a game that I've always wanted to play.
Which is...
Chess.
Oh, really?
Yep.
You didn't know how to play chess?
I didn't know how to play
I would have
chess.
showed you how to play chess. So are you good at it?
Apparently.
Really?
Yeah. So I didn't win my first game, but I did really well.
I'm not good at any strategy game because I don't plan.
Oh, yeah, you don't.
Do you
You're
do
not a
that?
planner.
Because so I used to play with some people who knew how to play, and they would good chess players will plan out every move before they even do it. I mean, they
Right.
know like where you might move, and it's crazy.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I didn't do that. But I wasn't completely reactionary. I mean, most of it was reactionary because let me put it this way. Once I got into the game, I was like, okay, if he does that, I'll do this. If he does that, I'll do this. If he does that, I'll do this. But then he did something totally different. And I'm like, fuck. Now
Yeah.
what?
Well, that's the thing. You have to kind of stay several moves ahead and plan on all those.
And I didn't. I just went with each move, and sometimes I made a couple mistakes, and I made obvious mistakes. Like as soon as I did it, I was like, shit, like I didn't see the backside of what I just did until I did it.
So here's what you do: you get on YouTube. And look for videos on chess strategies, and then you learn those things, and then the next time you go play with that person, and then they're like, holy crap, what happened? You learned how to play.
One of my favorite shows taught me a chess term.
Oh, yeah?
And that chess term is zugzwang. So zugzwang is a term in chess when the player who has been checkmated knows he's been checkmated.
Okay.
That's a term.
I never heard that before.
That's a state of being, is knowing that you have been checkmated. It's called zugzwang.
Zugzwang?
No, it's not zugzwang.
What do you think?
It is zugzwang. It's ZUGZWANG.
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 Okay. Feel bad for Zug. He has a term there in chess.
About his wang.
Yeah. Leave my wang out of it.
That's what
Well, that's good to know. I didn't know. I haven't played chess in a long time. It was never a game I liked that much. I learned how to play.
You don't like games.
Not that one. I
You don't like any games.
I'm not competitive. I don't care.
You don't have to be competitive to enjoy playing a game.
Well, you do, because the whole object of the game is to win.
No, it's the enjoyment of playing the game.
But at least the other person's trying to win. No, the object of a game is to win. Now, there are certain games that you don't have to, like we used to play trivia. That's fun. That's just knowledge.
Yeah.
Seeing if you know things. Like even Would You Rather is a game, but we don't make it competitive. The moment we start making it competitive and wagering, I don't know, I'd kind of lose interest.
Oh, I would too. But that's the point, is the game itself. Like even I know you and I both enjoy trivia, and we play our own little silly trivia games. But when recently I've tried to get you to play Trivial Pursuit or something like that with me, you're just like, no.
Well, I've played Trivial Pursuit fairly recently. I don't know. I'm not a game. I don't know why people play games. I don't know.
Isn't that a song?
Probably.
People play games.
Stop playing games with me. Yeah, I never was a game player in relationships either. Didn't like that.
No, it's not fun. It's not fun. It's not fun to have a game played at you.
So I did something today that I usually do. All right, so I always do it backward.
You didn't with me.
I'm going to edit that out. See if I can mark this right here. Just snap my finger. Right there where the snap happened, I'm going to mark that. Take that right out. So what I usually do in the wintertime is I start getting this impulse. I want to cut my hair. And then in the summertime, I want to grow my hair. It's supposed to be the opposite. You should grow your hair in the winter and cut your hair in the summer. Because it's hot.
Says who?
Oh, well, it's hotter in the summer, so you don't need as much hair.
Okay.
Wintertime, cold, you want to grow your hair.
Okay.
That's the way it should go.
Okay.
Cut all my hair off today.
I see that.
I don't have that hair.
That's obvious.
It's been driving me nuts. It's probably the longest it's ever been, at least close to it. But it, it's like constantly getting in my mouth.
Was it long enough for you to donate it?
Probably, but it didn't happen.
Oh.
But it just, so I got to cut.
Interesting.
So short.
Was it out of the blue?
No, I've been planning it for a while, and I keep telling myself, no, I'm not going to do it. And then I think I talked to my wife a while back, and I was like, I don't know what I should do, if I should cut it. And she said, why don't you just pull it back for a while? And I thought, okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Mm-hmm. So I pull it back, and then, I don't know, it's hard to sleep that way because you have that little lump back there, and it keeps me awake. And so, but if I take it out at night, and so I'm laying down and I turn the other way, my hair gets all everywhere. It's just, I don't know, it's just one thing after another, and it just wasn't fun, and it was getting kind of irritating. And so yesterday I said, I think I might need to cut my hair. And my wife said, I was going to say the same thing, but I was afraid to say it to you. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, there's all the reason I need right there.
Wow. So she doesn't like your long hair?
She likes my long hair, but I think, just like me, she thinks it was getting a little too long. So I decided to do it, and I went in and chopped it all off.
It looks cute because
It's
it's,
not like
still
it-
curly because
Yeah,
you
it's
have
not
curly hair.
It's not mega short, but it
No.
also it grows pretty fast. So
It grows really fast, way
So-
faster than mine. I will tell you, I gave myself a haircut the other day
really,
just to thin it out a little because you know how fluffy my hair gets.
yeah.
So I cut it
You
just a little
you
bit.
haven't colored your hair in a long time.
I haven't, and it's much, much healthier.
Do you like? I mean,
figure.
do you miss the color?
I do.
Are you going to do it again?
I am.
Why don't you do one little piece?
Maybe I will do that. Maybe I will just do one little piece for now.
I think you should do a red and green piece for
No,
Christmas,
no.
like a theme hair.
Okay, look how red my skin is naturally. If I do red hair, I look like a raspberry.
Well, then do green hair, and it'll fit. Your red face, green and red. It'll be Christmas.
I don't want Christmas on my face.
He says. I know you can find something dirty to say about that. I know you can.
But I'm not going to. I'm going to take the high road.
Speaking of the high road, all right, I got a little situation I want to talk about. This is going to make you mad. But anyway.
Why you want to make me mad?
I'm not want to make you mad. It's just I want to talk about the situation. And the first part of talking about the situation is probably going to make you mad. I don't know if you heard about this. I've heard people have been talking about it this week. I've seen it on the internet. Michael Vick, who is a football player. And I can't remember if he was kicked out of the NFL, suspended for the NFL for this. I think he was. He actually went to jail. He was involved in a dogfighting thing.
Yes, he was.
And so he had to, he lost his job. I think he went to jail and all that kind of stuff. And so, like this past week, NFL announced they were going to make Michael Vick one of the coaches for the Pro Bowl. And it started this big thing on the internet, big people filling out, what do you call them? Petitions, protests, whatever, about trying to get him removed. And so I do remember that he, now again, I don't know the man personally. So he went through therapy. He went through, he was remorseful. He apologized. He donated to animal causes. I don't know everything that he did, but apparently he felt like he made amends. He did go to prison for it. And so that now fast forward many, many years later, and he is going to be a captain. Now, I guess he wouldn't have gotten fired from the NFL and then they make him a coach in the Pro Bowl, I guess. I don't know. That doesn't make sense.
He is
if he's been
currently
fired.
an NFL player. He got his
What?
job back.
He still plays?
He got his job
No,
back.
that I didn't realize.
When he got out of
I
prison.
thought it was kind of like an honorary
You and I
thing.
had this conversation once when we were like, should you have your livelihood taken away from you? Should you not get your job back? We discussed, and Michael Vick's name came up in this conversation.
So this was the conversation I wanted to have today, which is similar to that, but I just feel like, is there a situation where you should not ever, and we can put Bill Clinton in this, where you should...
We could put Bill Cosby in this.
Well, I guess he's in...
Because we
But
discussed
he's
the
serving time.
comedians.
He's serving time, but I just feel like, all right, so there comes a point, let's just say someone does their time for whatever, even if they commit murder. Should you always hold that against the person? Is there never a time when that person can make amends and move on? And I just wonder if people who are protesting... I don't know, what am I trying to say? Forgiveness. Can a person ever be forgiven? Are there some things that a person can ever be forgiven for? And let's go back to Michael Vick. Can he never say, I screwed up. I'm sorry. I've made amends. I've done my time. I did what I needed to do. And then can he be forgiven and move on? Let's move on. Is that possible?
That's a
Louis C.K. Can he never, ever have a job again? Can he never do what he's doing? Because he has made a comeback. He is performing. But I see people mad about the fact that he's performing. What do they want? Do they want him dead? Do they want him be permanently punished with never, ever being able to earn a livelihood?
Or do they just want him out of the public eye?
I mean,
like they want him to go work in a factory or something.
Why? Why can he not? Why is he not? Do we not have a society based on forgiveness? So, like you, if you do something wrong, are you supposed to lose your job and you can't ever make a living ever? You're not famous, but still.
But that's the difference right there. Is I'm not a public figure. I'm not in the public's eye. I'm not constantly reminding people just based on just my image of what happened and who got hurt.
I just feel like there should come a point when you're allowed. I mean, you can make amends for mistake. No one's perfect. These people are not any more perfect than you and I. They just happen to be famous. And if they screw up, especially if they're young, I don't know. What are they never, ever, ever supposed to be able to do anything ever again?
Well, I think, I don't know if there is one, but I think that, there should be a registry for animal abusers, just like there's a sex offender registry.
I thought they started that.
They may have. It sounds familiar to me now that I'm talking about it. But I think that, if he's on that registry, if he's never, ever, ever allowed to own a pet ever, ever again, or any animal at all, if he's never allowed to be alone with an animal ever again, then just, keep your head down and move on, and we'll leave you alone.
Well, let's even look at that. The child sex registry, whatever. Is that right? Should that? I mean, I certainly see the function of it. And I certainly see why it's there. But it's like, I read this story a while back, and so this guy had consensual sex with a 17-year-old girl, and he didn't know she was 17 apparently, and then her parents ended up suing him. The couple ended up getting married, from what I understand, but the parents didn't like it, and they sued him. So he ended up being charged with, because it happened before they were married, he ended up being charged, and he, for the rest of his life, has to register as a sex offender for having sex with his wife.
Yep.
And I don't know, is that fair? Is that right? I can understand most situations with the sex registry, but is that fair?
That particular situation, I don't agree with, especially since it wasn't the woman, the other participant in the sexual act, who accused him. It was her parents. She's 17 years old. Her parents are still legally her guardians, and they still legally have that right in some states, not all. But they are the ones who got him convicted of whatever and caused him to have to register with sex offenders registry every year for the rest of his life now. And I imagine, and I'm just guessing, that the woman, his wife, no longer speaks to her parents, because you know what that means? That means that if that couple ever has children, he's not allowed to be alone with them.
Well, I think they did have kids, from what I understand, because I remember him saying that he was not allowed to take them to their games, softball games or whatever.
Nope.
But he didn't mention that he couldn't be alone with them, and I don't know how that works. But still, it kind of goes back to what I've been talking about. I don't understand where. Don't we live in a Christian society? That's what people say. Isn't it Christian based? And usually the people who say it is don't want to forgive. And it's like, isn't that a tenet of Christianity? Isn't that a part of Christianity? If we're going to call ourselves a Christian nation, which I don't really believe in that, but if we're going to, which a lot of people do, where's that element of forgiveness? Do you not have it? If we go back to the eye for an eye, which is the law of the Old Testament, and that's what so many people want to put forward. And I just think, where's forgiveness? Why don't we have that as a society? I understand even being suspicious of that, because some people will use that to just, get their sins excused.
Well, if you think about it, the quote unquote Christians who say we live in a Christian society are the same people who think that church and state should be combined.
Yeah.
And A, they shouldn't.
Right.
B, our country is not
right.
based on our Constitution.
Right.
And C, religion, what Jesus Christ taught, doesn't say anything about it being, because there's two laws. There's the law of the land, and then there's his law, right?
Right.
And they shouldn't be combined.
Well, I mean, I agree. Jesus said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, basically saying, obey the law, whatever the law of the land is, just respect that. But there's a higher law, and the higher law in Christianity anyway, in most religion, is forgiveness. And why do people pick and choose when it comes to, because what I see a lot on social media is the people who are condemning, they're the same people who the rest of the year post all this religious stuff. So I'm just like, start practicing what you're preaching. Spirituality is not comfortable. Forgiving someone who's done something horrible is not easy to do. It's hard to do. That's why it's a practice. That's why it's a spiritual practice. Is taking that extra step and having to, like, okay, this just popped in my mind. So I'm watching one of the shows I'm watching on ID. We actually saw it maybe last night. The story is this guy who used to be a nationally known skateboarder. He dates this girl, and she breaks up with him, and he's got a temper. And so he ends up and I may be remembering part of this wrong, but he ends up killing this girl who I think was the girl's roommate or friend. And he almost did it like revenge to get back at that person. So this innocent girl he kills. So this skateboarder's friend is a preacher. He's a minister, very religious. And he had been trying to get this skateboarder guy into religion and stuff. So anyway, the guy gets in trouble. He goes to prison. And so they're talking to his friends, and his friend, he said, what am I supposed to do? He's still my friend. This is when he needs to be loved the most. This is when I need to put my arms around him and say, I love you. You're forgiven by me, whatever. But then there's a part of me that's just like, stay away from the dude, you know?
Right.
But that is what spirituality is. It's going into an area that's way uncomfortable and doing it out of love, even if it's hard to do. And you could tell from this guy, it was very difficult. He was broke down. He was like, what he did was horrible. It can't be excused.
And you definitely condemn the act, but do you have to condemn the person?
Yeah, and then I just feel like, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's not advocating that this guy, you know, is working for a women's shelter. I mean, obviously the guy's in prison. I think he thinks the guy should be punished. He should get what he...
Absolutely.
But outside of that, and I see it, we've talked about that too, people going back and spending time with their parent who's killed the other parent and giving them forgiveness. And I'm like, I don't know that I could do that.
So if your father killed your mother, would you have ever spoken to him again?
I don't think so.
And what about vice versa? If your mother killed your father,
I would have helped her. I'm just joking. No, I don't think either way. I don't think that's not right. Something's wrong with that. But no, I don't know how people do that. I don't know. I'm not as close to my family right now. I'm older. I spent a lot of time away. So maybe in my mind, it's easier not to. Maybe when I was younger, it'd be hard to do. But to just dismiss, I don't know. But I just feel like there has to be shouldn't there be a point where we forgive people and allow them to move forward? And I know there's a faction of people who will never do that. Those are supposed to be the people who, if you're a Christian, if you're a spiritual person, you're supposed to be going the extra mile, not judging those people, but you're supposed to be out doing what is outside of that, not joining up with them.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, you're right. There's a faction of people, a group of people in this society who will never change. They are just lifelong repeat offenders, if you will, whatever that offense might be, whether it be cheating on their wife or, you know, child abuse or animal abuse or robbery or whatever it is, murder. They're just always going to do it. There's something wrong with them. There is no help for them. They continue to try and give those people help, but they just never get better. Now, eventually, you can't forgive them. You just can't, because they don't offer anything to this society. People who make a mistake or a series of mistakes or find themselves in a position where everything that they do is wrong and they've gone down this rabbit hole and they've screwed up lives, including their own. If they turn around and say, you know, I realize, if they can articulate how they understand the damage that they have done and then make amends and they go the extra mile to, you know, show how remorseful they are, then I believe that those people deserve some sort of forgiveness.
Yeah, I agree. And that is the key. How much authentic remorse do they show?
Right. And how can you base whether it's authentic or not? All you can do is wait and see. That's all you can do.
And that's what I feel about Michael Vick. Although, like I said, I don't know the guy. I have no idea anything about him. I don't know his personality. I don't know his private life, anything. But if what he did was dumb, and he knows it's dumb. He said it's dumb. He says he doesn't do it anymore. He took amends. He made amends for what he did. He served time for it. If he knows, and that was in his youth, and now he's older and he would never do anything like that, I just don't know why he should still have to pay for a dumb mistake when he was young.
Yeah. Well, people have been fired over dumb mistakes they made years and years and years ago, especially in government. If they made a tweet or a comment that was racially insensitive or homophobic or something, they have lost their jobs.
Right.
And this is before they were even in office when they said these things.
Yeah, I have trouble with that. Let's say you're a kindergarten teacher. You're a young kindergarten teacher. You were at a college. And you did a little thing for Playboy. You showed some boobs. You showed your naked boobs, and then you're young. Then you go on. You get a job.
You finish college.
You finish college. You go to grad school. Then you're in education. You get a job as a kindergarten teacher. You're teaching kindergarten for 15 years, and you're really good at it. And then someone finds your booby pictures. Should you be fired for showing your boobs? And you can't teach kids anymore. Is that wrong?
Like ever again. Like you should never be able to teach children because when you were 20-something,
because you got nipples.
Because you have nipples.
You have nipples.
2 of them.
You should not be around children.
No.
Although that's what they're for still.
Right.
And the people who are going to judge you a lot of times are religious people. Yeah. But I just feel like where do we say you
And who gets to judge which offense is worse than the next?
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to live in that society.
I don't know. It's a tough one.
Why can't we all
just get along
and forgive people? Why can't we just, there's a certain amount, like I totally get the dog thing. He should have gone to prison. He should, all of that.
Yes.
He did his time. If he got out and started it again,
then he should be murdered.
Well, whatever. There should be consequences.
Yes.
But if he did his time and he made amends and he was remorseful, I feel like then that's when you just say, okay. We've talked about this before. We live in a society. We live in an outraged society. People need things to be mad about. They need to be outraged about something. And I feel like this might be one of those things. We have an audience of animal lovers. I am an animal lover.
I'm definitely an animal lover.
I know you are, and we have a lot of people, and I know that this is an incident that's probably going to
elicit some comments.
Yeah, and it should, but I just wonder. I just feel like, is there ever? And you could say that about if you've ever abused a child. Is there ever? Can you ever get forgiveness for that? Can you ever get if you abused a child when you're a teenager? And you're 40 now. Can you ever escape that?
Only if you're forgiven by the child, I think.
Oh, I don't know.
But what if you murdered your baby?
Yeah.
This is getting dark. But let's say that you were a teenager in high school. You couldn't talk to your parents about sex, let alone pregnancy or any of that stuff. You hid your pregnancy. And this is something that has actually happened in the news. And you give birth at the school, and you put the baby in the garbage or whatever, and you just go on with your day. I don't know how you would do that, but some people have actually done that. You're a kid. You're stupid. You're afraid. You're ignorant, and you're uneducated at this point when this happens. 20 years later, if you want to have a baby, and people look down on you because of it, should they? Should they say should they not be happy about your pregnancy? Should they not be happy about your new baby?
They won't be.
They won't be. No. Because you killed your baby.
I believe that the earth, if you want to find the true spiritual people in this world, look into prisons. Look into the people who go to prisons and work with those people, who forgive them, who talk to them. Because I have read stories where prisoners say, I gave up. I knew everybody hated me, and this person treated me like a human being. It changed their lives because someone came into the prison and forgave them and treated them like a normal person. That's the power of transformation. That preaching, music, whatever you want to do, missions, and say that's Christian, okay, or any religion, not just Christian, Well, that might be whatever. True compassion, true spirituality is going into the trenches with the harsh people,
the people who have given up on themselves and on society as a whole.
and have treated society horribly, and still forgive them, and still treat them like a human being, and still saying, I forgive you, and I'm going to treat you like a human. That's where you transform people's lives.
I think so too.
I don't know. I shouldn't be preaching, but I'm just saying that I've read too many stories from people who have experienced that, and they're like, that's what, when I first felt like a human, when someone did that. Because I thought I was scum, and this person treated me like I was regular, normal, and then changed them.
And I think that's the key point in getting people to actually try and work at it, because it is work. If you make, you can go the smallest mistake you've ever made. If you did something wrong and upset your wife and you have to make amends for it, you have to work at it, right? If you turn around in your head after you make that mistake and you piss her off and you go, oh, well, I'm just always going to piss her off now, so you don't work at trying to make amends at it, then it's going to end badly, right? You're just going to keep pissing her off, and she's just going to go away. She's going to leave you. And then you'll just do that for the rest of your life. So it takes effort. And if somebody has given up on themselves and thinks that they are shit and that they're total crap and nobody loves them and nobody cares about them, and they're just going to do that for the rest of their lives. But if you give somebody hope, if you tell them you are actually a human being and you can actually be a member of society, a functioning member of society, or even a contributing member of society, that gives somebody hope. It gives them work, and that work takes help. You can't do it on your own. There's no way you can get out of a hole by yourself if you can't see the top. So somebody needs to help you. And even if it's just by saying, I see you, I hear you, you exist, you are a human being. Even if that's all it takes for that person to say, you're right, I am, or even just that little glimmer of hope. Everybody needs help. Everybody does. I'm
going to do what you do, which you love to do, which is play devil's advocate. Also, I've seen so many stories where an older couple takes in a troubled youth and gives them a great environment, and then the troubled youth ends up killing them.
Oh, yeah.
And taking their money.
Yep.
So it can go either way.
It can go either way, because putting yourself out there and offering to help somebody is making yourself vulnerable to that. It's making yourself, you're not necessarily putting yourself in a fragile state, but you're putting yourself in a very vulnerable state just by opening up and saying, I'm here for you. That's all. That right there is the most vulnerable thing you can do.
I feel like the bottom line is your outrage, does it exist just to make you feel more superior than the other person, or is it actually a useful outrage? For instance, if there's someone in your neighborhood or who's abusive or doing something that needs to be called out, then that's worth some outrage. If it's just to make you feel superior, it's just to make you feel better, then maybe you should question your outrage. That's the way I look at it.
One thing that the outrage does do, the media outrage that you're speaking of does do, is it assists in the forgive but don't forget thing, because we should never forget. I'm not an advocate of forgiving and forgetting. I'm an advocate of forgiving and remembering. Yeah, but because if you go back, even in our country's history, if we forget, it will happen again.
I tend to agree, but I feel like it's not forgive and not forget. I don't see a lot of forgiveness anymore.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. But again, the one thing that the media outrage does is it makes us remember.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to put it there. I didn't mean to be preachy. Sorry if it came off as being preachy. I did mention boobs in case it was becoming...
And I mentioned the camel toe.
If it was coming off as being too religious, at least you could look at that. All right, let's stop it. So I think we're. I'm not gonna say anything. Yes, I think we might have a guest soon before Christmas, and then we have the traditional giving of the gifts that will be coming up in a couple of weeks, which we do every Christmas.
That show.
I don't know what I can get you this year that I haven't given you before.
Well, I'll tell you what. I was doing some dusting today, And I have a bookshelf that is just compartmentalized. It's like a lot of little boxes, and in one of those boxes has nothing but the gifts that you have given me, the ones that I haven't thrown out or donated or done something else with, or given away, and they are ridiculous.
I know.
So I don't have any more room on that shelf.
I just feel like
you know how I feel about things, unnecessary things. Like I don't need them.
If you don't need them, then donate them to children who might need them.
Oh, so you're going to give me child toys?
I don't know. Whoever might need them. Give them to whoever might need them.
All right. Anyways, that gift giving show is going to come out on the 23rd.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. I mean, it could be anything. Be inventive. Get food. I don't care.
I intend to be inventive.
I bought
this
you
year.
Mustard before.
You did, and I ate it.
Well, there you go. You didn't sit around the house, did it? Check us out every Monday. We're a show. We're here every Monday.
We're a show.
Yeah,
we're a thing.
It's not an accident.
Nope.
We do this every week. We've been doing it for almost 2 years now.
Wow.
Almost freaking 2 years. Christmas coming up, which will be fun. This will be our, what is it, second Christmas.
On
Third?
this show?
Yeah. We've done a lot for the past.
Yeah, I don't remember which was which.
I think this will be our second one. But yeah, check us out. We're on Facebook. Drop us a line. ThisEpicDisaster@gmail.com. Tell us what you think of the show. Introduce yourself. We'll say hi to you here on the mic. You'll hear your name on the podcast.
Speaking of which, I did hear from somebody.
Oh, so we got a listener mail. This is what I was just talking about. You write to us, we will talk about you on this show.
And I'm about to.
We'll make you famous.
I will tell you why Rick is not aware of this particular message, because this is coming from DM on the DL.
Oh, wow.
And if you don't know what that means, that's direct message on the down low.
Yeah, because we do tend to give nicknames to people.
And this is her nickname.
That's her name.
Her nickname is DM on the DL. And what she says to me is, she says that those walking around videos that we talked about last week, she said they are fucking awesome.
I love them.
She used those words, fucking awesome.
Now, I'm curious, did she say if she started watching them because of what we did, or was it like, has she been watching them for a long time? Does she say?
The way she phrases it, it sounds like she started watching them because you mentioned them.
Yeah, and here's what I just, and maybe she talks about that, but there's some of them, like in Japan. Apparently, Halloween is a big thing in Japan now. So there's certain videos during Halloween. I have never seen a street so crowded. I was talking about how they weren't that crowded. At Halloween, it is insane. So watch some of the Tokyo and Japanese big city. Kawasaki is one of the cities that has a Halloween thing. Man, it's amazing. So many people, and they get into it.
Cool. She also says, all in caps, the 1 week that she doesn't listen to the podcast the second it comes out, because she's addicted to another podcast, is the week that we give out a Coke prize. That is apparently her thing.
Yeah,
she's the Coke queen. Yeah, so she hashtagged it my precious. So she wants a Coke prize too, but
maybe we'll
she
send
doesn't
him some cinnamon Coke.
Get one. Oh, that's right. Your wife just bought some cinnamon
She bought
Coke.
cinnamon Coke. I don't drink soda. I don't know what it tastes like. I like cinnamon drinks, but I'm not a big Coke fan.
Well, I
feel
tried
like
it.
Coke kind of tastes like cinnamon anyway, but this was supposed to have cinnamon. But a tip, if you drink cinnamon Coke this holiday, my wife says it tastes better with ginger spiced rum.
No, it's the gingerbread spiced Captain Morgan's rum.
That's kind of what I said.
Which I think is
but anyway,
just silly. But anyways.
Mix them together and they taste good.
Yeah.
I had that gingerbread rum in eggnog is good. I had that last night.
Did we ever announce who actually won the Coke prize?
No, that was last week. We didn't.
We should do that now then, since we just talked about it.
Do it.
So what we did last week is we gave out a phrase, which was no one wanted the ass Coke. Or no one wants the, whatever it was. And the first person to say it was, he doesn't have a nickname yet. He told me he wants a nickname.
We got to get a nickname.
So anyways, it's Donnie.
Donnie.
Yeah, Donnie's going to get some undies.
And close second was...
what is his nickname?
Gary. Gary doesn't have a nickname.
Gary doesn't have a nickname?
No, I don't think he does. And he's a longtime listener.
Yeah.
I don't think we gave him one.
Okay. So Donnie wants a nickname. We'll have to come up with that. I promised him he would get a nickname, so he'll get a nickname by next week. Yeah. I'm thinking Sticker Bandit.
You know what I chose?
What?
I told you. The Undertaker.
The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he bought underwear based on a recommendation.
It could be the Undertaker. The Undertaker, but Undertaker's kind
I
of
like
funny.
Undertaker.
Yeah, me too. So he can choose whatever he wants.
You know what? Sticker Bandit is obvious and boring.
Yeah.
He doesn't get to choose.
Undertaker,
I'm going to choose.
Undertaker. There's an element of kind of fear to it.
Undertaker.
Not just that it sounds scary, but also like he might take your undies. And I don't know.
He will take some undies in this case because he's getting a pair of Coca-Cola underwear if we can find them.
All right, check us out. Let us know you're alive. Let us know you listen to the show. This time of year, we definitely need it. We need the help. We need the contact. We just want you to be our friend. Please be our friend. Say hi to us. Just say hi. If you want stickers, we'll send you free stickers. Send us your mailing address. Free stickers will come your way. Let's talk about what we think of the beer.
Wait. Before you do that. Hold on. I want to put a phrase out there this week.
Oh, well, are you paying for the price?
I will. I will have to figure out what it is, too.
I gotta send it. We need to get Donnie's address. Undertaker's address.
Undertaker. Okay.
What is your phrase? Phrase that pays.
This week's phrase.
That pays.
Under the camel toe.
Oh God. All right. If you haven't won anything in a month, you can play.
You can play just
under the camel toe.
As soon as you hear
what
this,
are they going to win?
If you're the first person,
I'm afraid to find out what they're going to win.
Under the camel toe on our webpage. If you haven't won anything in 1 month's time, then you are eligible to do this, and you will win.
What? You hadn't even thought of a prize yet.
A camel-oriented prize.
A camel-oriented prize. All right.
I don't know what it is yet.
Yeah. We'll find a camel-oriented prize. Not a camel toe-oriented.
No.
Hey, tell us what you think of the beer. Maybe we'll send them a camel beer. Do they have camel beer?
Maybe.
I don't know. What do you think of this beer? I'm going to say you didn't like it.
Well, you would be basing that theory on how much I have left.
Yeah, because you pour it. I would say you've drank a fourth of it.
About that?
Maybe not, but that close to it.
I'll be honest. It's not worth the carbs.
Okay, not worth the carbs. Do you have a number you want to rate it? Aaron has said you haven't rated like the last two beers or something. So
I've given opinions on them, but I haven't given it a number.
You got to give it a number. That's how we play the game.
1.5.
Out of 5,
1.5.
1.5. This is one of those beers where we have a difference. I'm giving it a 3.5. I enjoyed this.
Clearly, because it's gone.
It's gone. I drank all of mine. I like it. It's flavorful. It's a nice beer. It's got a full flavor. It doesn't taste holiday. That was my only gripe. It doesn't taste holiday at all, but it's not bitter. It's got a nice little flavor, and I like it. I might go have another one.
Why don't you finish mine?
Because he's got your lips and spit all over it.
I didn't spit in it.
You have to spit on it when you drink it. It just
I didn't
automatically.
spit in it.
You put it in your mouth, you pull it down, pieces come out.
Pieces don't come out of my mouth.
Pieces of your lips fall into the beer.
No.
That's what happens. All right. So I say 3.5. Cheri says 1.5. We're talking about this week's Christmas. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year 2019 by Anchor Brewing. I say it's a pretty tasty beer. Do it. I would say, I don't know if I went it with food. It's one of those beers I would drink by itself.
It makes me want to belch.
It is a little burpy. I got a little burpy, but here's the thing. We did an hour show. Look, you still have head on your beer, which means it's still got some carbonation in it. That's a good thing.
That's true.
So those are good things.
Okay.
Anything else you want to talk about before we say goodbye?
Not today. I think I've been a little rambly today.
Next show ought to be a good show, really good show. And then after that, we got an even better show.
Yeah.
We got to be giving out presents.
Yeah.
I feel like people should send us presents.
I think they should too. Preferably not something I have to put on a shelf.
That would be cool, though. I didn't think about that. We actually had some people at one point want to send us some presents. If you want to send us presents that we can open on the show, you're allowed to. Make sure it's not like anthrax or anything like that.
Or
that might kill us. But a fun present, we'll take it. We'll
that might be fun.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. Anyway, just contact us at thisepicdisaster@gmail.com and we might send you a mailing address. We don't really have a studio mailing address, do we?
No, we don't.
I don't think we do.
Not
right now, anyway. We might next year. All right, so that's all I'm going to say. Let's wrap it up. You got to go home and get your doggy.
I do.
I got to go home and get my doggy. So that's it. We'll see you next Monday.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. This is a Violet Jester Media podcast.